Hi everyone, Pastor Sam here. Last week I shared a video and talked a little bit about the importance of getting away in the Word and God speaking to us through nature and through the Word and pausing life and slowing down. This week I want to share with you something that I read that looks at another angle and how we grow and how God speaks to us, and this time it's in community. In this book, Eugene Peterson, Christ Plays in 10,000 Places, he writes this: I didn't come to the conviction easily, but finally there was no getting around it. There can be no maturity in the spiritual life, no obedience in following Jesus, no wholeness in the Christian life apart from an immersion and embrace of community. I'm not myself by myself. Community, not the highly vaunted individualism of our culture, is the setting in which Christ is at play. And I find it interesting because he says two words there that are really important: immersion and embrace. You know, the first thing we do is the same way we seek to have quiet time with God, the same way we seek to read the Bible, the same way we may just, have that alone time. We also need to have community time. We need to immerse ourselves in community. And of course, we do this in church, we do this in clubs, we do this in fellowship with neighbors or friends, and those are good things. But we also do it in an embrace of our community. And that means not just the people we like, but the people we might not like as well, that we embrace the people around us. Good way to think of it is the story of the Good Samaritan and who is our neighbor, right? The one who's in need. Do we embrace our neighbors? Do we embrace our community? Do we embrace the place where God has placed us and immerse ourselves in the place where God has placed us to allow God to speak to us through community? And so often we compartmentalize, and so often we think that God is only going to speak in this way or God's only going to speak in that way. But in my experience, and I think in the experience of many of us, we learn through our community. We learn through interactions. We learn through talking with people. We learn through hearing other people's stories. We learn empathy. We learn grace. We learn understanding through just listening. And so, friends, this morning, my encouragement to you is that as you go through this life, the next couple of days, this weekend, church, whatever it might be, that you're listening, that you're immersing yourself in community, that you're embracing the community around you, that you're looking for ways that God might be teaching you and speaking to you through community in new and different ways, revealing things to you about who He is and how much He loves you, how much He loves your neighbor. Because that's the truth, isn't it? Is that God says, even with the people we don't like, by the way, that Christ and that God shows no favoritism, that there is none greater. And so, as we look at this, my hope and prayer for you is that you would consider, where is Christ at play in your community? Where is Christ at play in your work life, in your home life, in your neighbors, in your community clubs, whatever it might be? And that we would learn from those as well. Not just from the individual times, because as we've seen in the scriptures, looking through the Gospel of Mark, that it happens in community, that Christ goes through life with the disciples going out into the community. And my hope and prayer is that you see that today, tomorrow, and in the many days to come. Thanks, everyone, and I hope to see you soon.